Welcome to a new episode of Ari's Quest Log. And today we are going to look into which Windows 11 privacy settings you should change immediately. I am a team manager and I do find privacy really important. Privacy and security. Now, this video doesn't mean, what I will show doesn't mean that you have to be really afraid or something. Just I will show some settings of which I think it's best that you change it as soon as possible. Some of these settings you can already change when you install Windows 11 for the first time. Other settings you can change afterwards. I will show this in my new PC. My PC that I have recently built, but I actually built it in December. And I continued with the setup earlier in March and April, and it's now May, and I will show you which Windows 11 privacy settings you ideally should change or set to what I will show. So let's begin. Okay, I have logged onto my Windows PC. Let's look at the settings. We go into settings and then to privacy and security. And we want to turn off certain settings. If we turn them off, then that will help with what we transmit to either to Microsoft or things that we get to see. So let's first go to recommendations and offers. What you really want to turn off, and this is all ideally, if you look at privacy, then personalized offers gets personalized tips, ads and recommendations based on my Windows activity you should turn off. And the same for the advertising ID. Let apps show me personalized ads by using my advertising ID. I recommend to turn off. And actually, I would also recommend to turn off improve start and search results. Let Windows improve start and search results by tracking which apps I open. I actually had it turned on, and I will not turn it off for myself. Now the other ones, now maybe this one, language list, maybe that is still useful. I show notifications in settings. Required notifications will be shown even if the setting is off. Well, I will keep that one on for now, but recommendation and offers in settings. So let Windows show me product recommendations and offers in settings. Now that one I would advise you to turn off. And there's no button to click from, hey, let's save. It will be saved automatically. So that is the privacy and security recommendations and offers settings. Then the next one we want to look at is diagnostics and feedback. And this is, in my opinion, an important one. To make sure that we have not sending too much data to Microsoft, you should turn the send optional diagnostic data to off. And if I'm not mistaken, that is one of the questions you get when you first set up your PC. Now the same for improve inking and typing. That kind of diagnostic data I would also recommend to turn off. And view diagnostic data, it's also off for me. And then we have the feedback frequency. That is choose how often Windows asks for your feedback. And right now I have it set to automatically recommended, but it's probably best to turn this to never. If from a privacy kind of standpoint. So this was the diagnostics and feedback section of privacy and security. Now the next part is speech. In the speech we have the online speech recognition. That is use your voice for apps using Microsoft's online speech recognition technology. And for that one I recommend to turn it off. Then what else do we have? Did we already look at inking and typing? Personalization. No. That one I also recommend to turn off. That is to get better suggestions by creating the custom dictionary using your typing and handwriting info. And what else do we have? Search. Now the search history. It's probably best to turn that one off as well. Of course, it's all up to you what you want to have turned on or turned off. But I turn this one off and I had it on now. Now it will be off, and I will also clear my device search history. And well, I guess it's cleared. And these ones, let's turn the search my accounts, Microsoft account off, work on school account off, and let's search apps, show results off. And that was the Microsoft bin. And the rest I just keep as it is. If for whatever reason later on I think, well, this is actually not what I want, I can always go back to the settings and turn them on. Of course, the search history is not there, but then you turn it on and it will start collecting that info again. And then we also have location. Location services is something that Microsoft uses to, it can use GPS or Wi-Fi wireless to determine your location. And my recommendation is to turn the location services off, also for all the apps. And let's also allow location overrides. Windows apps and services can use the location from a remote connection instead of this device's location. Probably best to turn that one off as well. Before we continue, if you like my video, you can of course give me a thumbs up. And if you're not yet subscribed, you can subscribe. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm, as I always say. Now, let's now go back to the rest of the privacy settings that ideally you should change as soon as possible. But still up to you. it's not, it's a recommendation. All right. We also have the microphone settings that you could change. So here we have microphone access. Anyone using this device can choose if their apps have microphone access when this is on. Well, I think that's so good. But here you can control which apps you can have access to your microphone. And right now on my PC I have no microphone connected, so all these apps are off. And probably it's best to turn this one off, and later on when there is an app that needs it, you can toggle it on again. But of course you have to remember that you change some settings. I'm not sure whether you get a pop-up on, hey, this is not working now. Then in the system there is something called Clipboard, and the Clipboard History is off. That is my recommendation. If there would be clipboard data on your device, and you can click this button to clear. Of course, there is nothing here for me. Now, what we probably also want to do is go to Personalization and then go to Taskbar and then turn off the widgets. And that removes the news widgets, this one. And I find it really annoying to sometimes you go over this by accident, and then it's also sometimes difficult to get rid of it. So my recommendation is to turn that one off. And yeah, this is about everything that I want to show today. Now there's one other thing that I think that is important or really better, and that is this PC. I have set it up without a Microsoft account, and I actually created a video about that when I installed this PC with Windows. You can see it, how I did that in that video. And the reason I did that is that I don't want to use an online Microsoft account to set up my PC. Because if you ever lose your credentials for that account in combination with the credentials for your account on your PC, then you might not be able to log in, or with reinstalling, there are issues that you can get, and also that have it connected to a Microsoft account. I don't like that. Rather I have my Windows accounts as a local account. Do you have a Windows local account, or do you use a Microsoft account? You can let me know in the comments. And do you prefer to have a local account rather than using a Microsoft account for your Windows PC? Yeah, you can let me know. And maybe you don't use Windows at all, you use Linux or macOS. That's all great. I'm actually planning to install this PC as a dual boot. So I will install Ubuntu, probably Ubuntu 26.04, and then I can choose to use Windows or I can use Linux. And I love Linux. And actually that also, let me show the PC. My big PC. Yeah, it's a great box. I love it. So, this was the video about the Windows 11 privacy settings you should change immediately. Of course, it's ideally, it's my recommendation. Now, if you like this video, you can give me a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed, you can subscribe. And yeah, I hope to see you next time on Ari's Questlog.